How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Every who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch did not. The Grinch hated Creason. No one quite knows the reason. I think perhaps the most likely reason of all may be that his heart was 2 sizes too small. He stood there on Christmas Eve with a sour frown, staring at the warm lighted windows in the town. They're hanging their wreaths and their stockings. I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming, for tomorrow he knew. For all the Who girls and boys will wake up early and rush to their toys, and then, oh, the noise, noise. The one thing he hated was the noise. Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'll feast, feast. They'll feast on Who pudding and the rare Who beast, which the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'll do something he liked least of all. Every Who, the tall and the small, standing together with Christmas bells ringing, hand in hand, the Who's would start singing. They'll sing and they'll sing. The Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. I must stop this Christmas from coming. Now! But how? Then he got an idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. He made a Santa Claus hat and a coat too. Then he chuckled. What a great Grinchy trick. I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. Aww. Since reindeers are scarce, the Grinch simply said, I'll make a reindeer instead. Then he took some red thread and tied a big horn on top of his dog Max's head. Then on a sleigh he loaded some sacks. He hitched up old Max with a giddy up. The sleigh started down towards the homes in the town. All the Who's were dreaming without a care. Stop number 1 on the square, the Grinchy Claus hissed. On the roof, empty bags in his fist. Down the chimney he slid in a moment or two. He grinned as he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue. These stockings in a row are the first to go. With a smile most unpleasant, he took every present. He took the Who's feast, he took the roast beef. Quick as a flash, the Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. And now, grinned the Grinch with glee, I'll stuff up the tree. And he started to shove. He heard a sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and saw little Cindy Lou Who, who was not more than 2. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? Why, my sweet tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. Then he patted her head and sent her to bed. And when she went with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for the fire, the one speck of food he left in the house was too small, even for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other whose houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other whose mouses. It was 1/4 dawn when he packed up his sled. Up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to dump it. Hoo-hoo to the who's, he was humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. With their mouths will hang open for a minute or two. Then the who's down in Whoville will cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. His hand to his ear, he did hear a low sound rising over the snow. Then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What a shocking surprise. Every who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, were singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or another, it came just the same. And the Grinch, his feet cold in the snow, stood puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons or tags. It came without packages or bags. He puzzled until he was sore. Then he thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas means just a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, they say the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. He whizzed with his load and brought back the toys, the food for the feast, and he himself carved the roast beef. Merry Christmas!